Me 36M found out my wife 34F has been cheating on me, don't know what to do. Let me start with some backstory. We've been together for almost 17 years, have 3 kids, an old house we've been slowly restoring over the last 2 years, and our budget is not the greatest, no savings and lots of debt. She's the only woman I've ever been with, and before me, she had only a couple of one-night stands, so we were both little experienced when we met. She's been the light of my life, and we've gone through some difficult times together, and always have we been there for another. I thought we were one of the few who managed to stay on course no matter what. Apparently I was wrong. With all that was going on, trying to fix the house, both working full-time, trying to make ends meet and to make sure the kids are doing fine, we kinda lost ourselves. The bad financial situation and health-related issues didn't help either. My wife had been trying to lose weight for a long time, but nothing seemed to work for her, and her self-esteem was down to the floor. We were both depressed, but instead of talking and consoling one another, we suffered in silence. I buried my nose in computer games to hide from our problems, while she had her nose in her phone all the time. This spring and summer, things started going worse. She was spending more time with her friends and going partying, while I stayed at home with the kids. I thought that if I let her blow off some steam that she would come home in a better mood, but that didn't work at all. I tried to ignore the bad feeling that was starting to sink in my stomach. I had heard a rumor that she had been seen kissing some dude at a dance in a nearby town. I confronted her about it, but she denied and said that the guy had tried to kiss her, but she pushed him away. I was not fully convinced, but didn't want to push her too much, as I was trying to let her see that I trusted her. Yet as the summer passed, I noticed she was getting way more protective and secretive about her phone. After seeing by chance what her FB password was one night in August 22nd, I decided to take a look, to see if I could find anything about that dance earlier that summer. What I found was way worse. I saw that indeed she had been kissing some dude drunk as hell until her friend pulled her out of it, but that's nothing compared to what I saw next. I accessed her Messenger and Skype. I found out that she had been chatting online with 2 foreign guys, A and B, for months. It had started on Instagram. Some random dude, A, sent her some flattering messages, and she started talking to him on Skype after that in early June. After only speaking to him for less than 2 weeks, she started sharing with him nude photos after only resisting a bit. The incident with the guy she kissed happened later that month. She was chatting with this guy A up until midst of August, when he showed his real intention. He was a scammer with a stolen account and was just sending her pictures from that stolen profile. Yet she had been fooled enough to share with him pictures of her most intimate parts. She seemed like she was falling in love with him. By then she was already started to talk to guy B, which also started on Instagram. Didn't take long for that to evolve to nude pictures and S-time talk. In both cases they were fantasizing about them coming to our country and meet with my wife at a hotel. She never spoke ill of me or anything like that, just talked about me like I was just there. If they asked, she said that I treated her well, but then she went on to tell them how she liked to talk to them and they made her feel good. The worst is yet to come. In one of the chats with a female friend of hers I found some more disturbing things. They went together to a 2-day town festival in another nearby town in early July, stayed at a rented room, which I of course had agreed to and thought would be okay, and I knew that my wife's friend who has trouble with panic attacks had needed to stay overnight at the local hospital. But what I didn't know and saw in the chat between them was that she mentioned a 41-year-old guy from our own town, Guy C, a married man with kids, who was unhappy in his relationship, and she had met him that night. He had come over to chat and had tried to go all the way, but my wife told her friend that she had stopped him. She didn't mention the name, but I found out a likely suspect as our town is small, and I also found in my online phone records that she had sent a message to a number belonging to a guy that fit the description. I feared the worst. I didn't let my wife know what I had found yet, as I was afraid what would happen while the kids were around, so I put up a mask and waited until Saturday 24th of August to confront my wife. I had called my mother and got her to take care of the kids. My wife is taking some classes to get some form of degree for her work, and when she came home from class I asked her calmly to sit with me and I told her about what I knew. There was no violence, yelling or bad-mouthing. Just 2 sad people, one of them angry and hurt, and we talked the whole night. She promised that nothing had happened between her and C, and what she had done online was only to try boosting her self-esteem a bit, as she thought I had stopped loving her. She didn't exactly try to blame me for it, nor did she yell at me for snooping around. She said she thought I didn't like her anymore because she wasn't losing weight, and when those guys started raining compliments on her, she said she got addicted. She said she didn't mean to hurt me, she was selfish and tried to please them as she could so they would keep complimenting her, therefore sending them nude pictures. She told me that she saw it now, that she had been cheating on me, but she hadn't realized it while she was doing it, even though she knew she was doing something wrong. I wanted to believe her, I truly did. But I had concerns. We decided to try to fix our marriage and seek counseling. As the weeks passed, things seemed to be getting better. She's been way more affectionate to me and caring. Our time life has been great, and we've been spending way more time together than before. I still had a growing feeling in my stomach that she was hiding some critical information from me, and after our second meeting with the marriage counselor last week, she finally admitted the truth. She admitted what I had suspected and feared but deeply hoped hadn't happened. She had indeed slept with C that night in July. And even though she said she had felt bad afterwards and shameful, she still kept talking to him via social media. She admitted to have met with him twice after that, but nothing more than a bit of kissing. She even tried to contact him again a few days after I had confronted her in August. My first response after that was simply freezing. I didn't yell or curse or anything. I didn't harm her in any way. I partly felt relieved that she had finally admitted what I suspected, but at the same time I felt humiliated and hurt beyond anything I've ever felt before. I didn't want to rush to anything, so I haven't thrown the ring in her face yet, nor have I confronted the other guy, as I don't want to be the person to rat on him to his wife or make myself get arrested for assault. Besides, it wasn't him that broke my marriage contract, it was my wife. I don't know what to believe anymore. The woman I thought I knew would never do something like this. She's been trying to convince me that she was an idiot and selfish and whatnot, and that she feels really bad about hurting me like that. She says she's ready to do anything to fix the situation and to get me to trust her again and feel like she's worthy again. Honestly, I don't know if I'll ever trust her again or see her with the same eyes. I do love her, of course, and I like to be around her and see her smile. But at the same time, it stings my heart. I want this to work because of the kids and our shitty financial situation, as we can't afford going through divorce, but I fear that I will lose myself and never gain any self-respect if I go through with this. How the hell can I forgive her for cheating on me with not only one guy but 3? Well, 4, if you count that one time she kissed a random guy. She was both emotionally as well as physically cheating with all of them for some period of time. Not just a one drunk night mistake, but some kind of emotional and time-ool relationship with 3 guys for over 2 months. Doesn't matter if 2 of those relationships were online. She still planned to meet with them, knowing fully what would happen if they did. Has anyone here gone through anything similar to this and has some good advice? I know it's easy to say, just divorce her man and move on, but it's not that simple. I still have feelings for her, and I don't know what will happen with our kids and our families. I also fear that if I divorce her, which will mean that her family and friends will know the truth, that she will harm herself or at least be in a mental state where she will have bad influence on our kids. We also have an unfinished house and no savings, and need at least to finish fixing it in order to get any cash out of selling it. Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1, 4 guys? You don't forgive her. Not if you have any self-respect, that is. Op answer, that's the problem, I don't have any damn self-respect. Not anymore, that is. I feel like a zombie, trying to survive only to be there for my kids. Redditor 2, 4 guys in the span of 3 months? Sir, this marriage is over. End on a somewhat happy note if you still can, and move on to someone who appreciates you, because this person you are with now is not the same person you married 17 years ago. Redditor follow up, I agree on everything you said except for one thing. It is the same person. People don't change, and this struggle has brought out their true character. I understand it's a cynical view, but it's realistic. She's shown her true colors, and that is why he must leave. Because she has always been like this, but the mask has slipped. I'm almost positive she cheated before. Honestly, get a paternity test at this point. 4 guys in 3 months? That's not even normal for a cheater, really. She hasn't changed, and will not. That is why he must leave. If she changed, that means she could change back. That gives him hope. Hope in this case is not only impossible but damaging. Redditor 3, keep her as the mother of your kids. Dump her as a wife. Update, me 36M found out that my wife 34F was cheating on me with multiple men. But after getting lots of great comments from you guys as well as talking with my closest friends, I got enough encouragement to gain some faith in myself. I finally opened my eyes to what I had thought deep down, that there was no chance in hell that I would ever gonna get over what my wife did, so I decided last Thursday to tell her I wanted to end this marriage. I think she knew it was coming as she didn't seem that surprised. She didn't even try to persuade me or anything. Just went like a broken record. Nothing I say will change anything whenever I asked her to say anything. There was lots of crying and she called in sick to work. We have since then been telling our closest friends and family about the incoming divorce, but she has been incredibly hesitant to admit what she did to her parents. My mother knows everything, but I for some reason agreed to not tell the in-laws about what happened yet. Maybe I'm afraid of a war between my soon-to-be ex-wife and me, so I agreed to give her time to tell them. When we met them last Sunday, we told them about the divorce, but as we had to leave 2 of our kids with them for 3 days due to school holiday, it didn't feel like the right time to come clean about their daughter's multiple affairs. Instead, we told them that there was some unsolvable disagreements, which felt really bad for me to say, because they seemed so disappointed. They have been part of my family for almost 17 years and I care about them. And they have been really supportive to us through the years, both financially, and they love spending time with our kids. I felt really bad about lying to them, but I'm afraid that if I go and spill the beans, my soon-to-be ex-wife will become hostile and make the divorce process that much harder. But my patience is not limitless. I will tell them eventually if my wife doesn't come clean soon. I don't want the real reasons for the divorce to go public either, as we live in a small society and the truth would eventually find its way to my kids and they might get picked on because of it. I'd rather for the truth to remain with our closest friends and family, while the official explanation would be that we divorced due to growing apart, wanting different things, etc. I also don't want to be known as the poor guy who had his wife porked by another guy. Now there are some big loose ends to tie. We need to sell our house and find apartments for ourselves. The custody will be shared, where I will have the kids for a week and their mother for the other week. I also feel like their legal address should be with me, so I won't have to pay her child support. Would be unfair after what she did. I have no idea how this will end, but often in my country, the mother tends to get what she wants, as everyone always feels sorry for them. I will fight for my kids though. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1. Lawyer. Speak to 1. Ask them about what will affect your custody chances, and they'll give you advice on what to say and what not to say. Redditor follow up. They'll give you advice on what to say and what not to say. The bolding is mine, but it bears repeating. You absolutely and unequivocally need legal representation. State him. Redditor 2. Good for you, man. All I would say is, try and be as rational as you can when it comes to handling the finances and custody and everything for the children. Don't let emotions get in the way of what is best for them. Stay strong. You will heal from this. Please try and work with a counselor or something. And her actions are a reflection of her, not you. Please don't ever forget that. Redditor 3. I know this might be unpopular, but I would be honest about it to people that directly asked. No more lying. If she wants to make the divorce messy, she will, and you will have no control over that. Don't be afraid to be honest. Redditor follow up. Yes. The type of people who make divorce messy were always the type of person to make divorce messy. Nothing external has any effect on that. Given that she cheated on you without care, my advice would be to strap in for a bumpy ride. And remember, chivalry will get you killed in court. Lastly, DNA test the children. Redditor 4. Why are you worried what other people think of you? You know the truth, man. You don't have to prove your decisions are valid. Who cares what she has to tell herself or others to sleep at night? Redditor follow up. What other people think about you determines a lot. It feels great to be open about everything, but it's definitely not practical to do so in any litigation. Redditor 5, you might want to get a DNA test for the kids. Redditor 6, child support depends on the earnings of both, the costs of both, who has the most time with the children. Her being unfaithful does not count. Redditor follow up, yeah, I'm not sure what he means by child support would be unfair after what she did. What does her unfaithfulness have to do with supporting your children financially?